2011. This is about the Antarctic terrorist Jarle Andhoy. Three crew members, Robert and 32, Tom 34, and Leonard 36, Antarctica on the Beserk and Horseshoe Bay, McMurdo Sound. Samuel and Massey were back from the pole before the Berserker disappeared. Andhoy got a text from the crew that read, "Everything is good, atmosphere is good in Horseshoe Bay. Contact us." And the Wellington notified the Beserk about the storm expected soon. Tromsø, Oslo, Norway. The Dagbladet. Polar explorer and television celebrity Jarle Andhoy, 38, sits in the dock, the Nord-Troms District Court, accused of having carried out his third voyage south of the 60th parallel in Antarctica without permission from the Norwegian authorities. He is also accused of having sailed without insurance, so the provisions of the Antarctic Treaty requires. The expedition took place a year ago, where, among others, comedian Anne Cat Herland, 43, and rock guitarist Peter Barley, 50, was on the journey. The voyage constitutes television program Beserk in Pioneer Waters, which premieres on TV Norge tonight. There's an advanced sentence. Andhoy believes the charges against him are baseless. He points out that the sailboat is registered in Russia and claims to have acquired permission from the Argentine authorities before the expedition started. He never sought permission in Norway because he believes an application by him will never be merited by the Norwegian authorities. He felt prejudged by the Polar Institute of Foreign Affairs. Ever since 2011, I have been treated as terrorist in Antarctica by the Foreign Ministry and the Norwegian Polar Institute. They've stolen equipment, withheld information, and tried to stop my expeditions, says Andhoy. He believes everything started 5 years ago when he went on an expedition aboard Antarctic yacht Beserk with a crew of 4. The aim was to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of Roald Amundsen's trip to the South Pole. The expedition ended dramatically when the sailboat disappeared during a storm in the Ross Sea. Andhoy was even on land along with 18-year-old Samuel Massey at the time. Comrades Robert PCP, who is 34, Tom Gizel Bellica, 36, and South African Leonard J. Banks, 32, were never found. Powerful accusations. Andhoy was fined 25,000 kroners after the expedition. He endorsed this writ. In 2012, he returned to Antarctica to find out what had happened to his friends. Again, Andhoy was fined for having traveled to Antarctica without licenses and insurance. Foreign Affairs and the Norwegian Polar Institute have opposed and tried to stop me. They still do. The entire input on this matter was that I had permission to sail, something I had said, Andhoy said, adding, "It will be exciting to see where they are now. This is a tragedy for me and other relatives who have lost shipmates and sons in Antarctica. The essential question is if there was an accident that was just swept under the carpet." Unreasonable. Foreign Ministry rejects accusations of the Arctic explorer. Andhoy's claims fall on absurdity. Beyond this, we do not want from the ministry's side to comment on an ongoing trial, says Pressevakt at UD Astrid Sail to Dagbladet, the newspaper. The head of section at the Norwegian Polar Institute, Birgit Njastad, testified in a criminal case against Andhoy. She says she told Dagbladet that she did not want to comment beyond what was said in court. Written in Spanish. The documents showing Andhoy alleged authorization of Argentine authorities for permission to conduct the voyage was sent over to the prosecutor late Tuesday night. The papers were written in Spanish. Expedition participant Manuel Hernandez has gone through these documents today. Prosecutors reject Andhoy's written permission. It is not issued by authorities who handle Antarctica regulations, say prosecutors Trude Kvanli in this procedure. Risking jail time. Anne Kat Hjerland was summoned as a witness in Nordstrom's district court Wednesday. I know that it was working to try to get a permit. I know that there was no Norwegian license, but I also know that Jarle would not have received any permit in Norway if he asked for it, says Hjerland. The prosecutor asked today about the 30-day suspended sentence and fined 45,000 kroners for Jarle Andhoy. I do not wonder if I will be convicted. I am going to appeal all the way. I do not give up, says Andhoy. The verdict will be pronounced in about a week. So they're calling him a terrorist for going to the Antarctic. Jarle Andhoy was eventually acquitted. I think that this is only the correct one. I guess he's saying this is the only correct decision, or he agrees with the decision. They were assessed whether grounds for the examination. The reason is Andhoy complained that the dismissal was a violation of protection zone determination. The Beserk went to Horseshoe Bay. He believed they died unnecessarily and would like to shed further light on the circumstances of the accident. He believes, therefore, that these matters have not been resolved, and he believes that all parties will benefit from what exists, says the lawyer Nora Bardal to Dagbladet. Unusual attorney Lars' assessment of the events is not a police matter, says the ASBN or ABSN. The director of the shipping department confirms it received a case. It's unusual that police would be sending a case like this to us, also a special case. We previously decided to investigate this. Now we'll reconsider this information for us to choose. These accidents basically happen and we perform an investigation. We prioritize the safety on board vessels, particularly the HGV. We do not prioritize accidents of pleasure craft in the same way. They published last week. Inset. The day before the Beserk disappeared, Andhoy got a text message from the crew which read, "There is a good atmosphere and all is well. We leave Horseshoe Bay. Contact us when you can." Want answers. Jarle Andhoy wants to know what exactly happened before the Beserk wrecked. Unanswered questions. The New Zealand naval vessel MS Wellington had notified Beserk about the storm that was expected soon. To date, it has emerged as a mystery for Andhoy that boat chose to leave a safer anchorage point in the announced storm, and he wanted to know what happened prior to this. Now Andhoy wants answers. Troms and Finnmark, the public prosecutor, has forwarded the case to the Accident Investigation Board with instructions to assess whether there are grounds for further examinations. The reason that is Andhoy complained that a dismissal of violation of protection zone determination occurred when the Beserk went to Horseshoe Bay. Andhoy believes action was solely due to necessity. Its purpose of the complaint was to shed light on the circumstances prior to the accident. There are things in here in this matter that are still not resolved, and documentation that we still have not obtained, but that exists. All parties will benefit from that there are no secret issues prior to the event, says Andhoy's lawyer, or Nils Jorgen Vardal, told Dagbladet. Unusual circumstances. Attorney Lars Faust's assessment meant that further investigation of the events is not a police matter, and that the cause, therefore, was sent to AIDN. The attorneys are very pleased that the police have a complaint, says Vorval. Director Morten Kven in AIBN shipping department confirms that it has received the case. It is a bit unusual that the police have sending a case like this to us. It is also a special case. We have previously taken a decision not to investigate. We shall now consider this again, but there must be new information for us to choose to do it, says Kvime. Accidents of this type are basically not a priority of the Accident Investigation Board, the AIB. That we should prioritize the safety on board vessels, particularly HGV. We tend not to prioritize accidents with pleasure craft, says Kvime, which states that a full decision will be published in the next few weeks. To stop TV series. The same week, more precisely on January 19th, it is planned to have a premiere of TV Norge's Beserk series. It was today the press viewing where the media got to see episode 1, half the episode 8 and episode 9. The last episode is an epilogue, and more documentary than the rest of the series. Here we see how the one before the crew parted in Antarctica took place, and it repeated calls about the risks of the mission. Several of the families wanted to stop the series. Today wrote VG that the mother of Tom Gizzle Bellica and parents of Charles Banks has chosen to summon TV Norge for the series. A temporary injunction was filed yesterday to stop the series. But hopefully their stance may be changed under certain conditions. There is the documentation for this. We believe, however, that we are on safe legal ground, says TV Norge boss Harold Strom Dagbladet. The documentation in question is a declaration from the dead that they may agree that it displays images from the expedition.